5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into season 45 of The Clingers Have Spoken. I'm Joel, that's my brother Michael over there, and we just watched the first episode of season 45 of Survivor. Michael, how are you feeling tonight?
Well, you know, inside me, there's like two me's. There's Michael and there's Klinger. Now, Michael, he's a quiet guy. He's really into, you know, fantasy football and Survivor. And then there's Klinger, and he's like a crazy guy inside me. And so somewhere in there, I am actually a well-rounded person that enjoyed this episode. So yeah, I mean, it's Survivor's back, baby. Let's do this thing.
Yeah. David is here, you know? David is here. Michael David Klinger bringing the full presence. What an episode. 90 minutes. The first 90-minute episode of the season. It will be a long, long time for that. And how, Michael, you've been begging for this for like a long time, right? 90 minutes at least. You would even say like 2 hours. Let's kick it up. 90 minutes. How'd it feel?
90 minutes is the perfect amount of time where it doesn't drag. Like, it did not drag tonight. But you saw you saw 3 different options for people that might be going home at Tribal Council. And then when the surprising person went home, you still had enough of that storyline to get why. Now, we might never do such a thing. And it was still shocking and like, what? Wait, what's happening? But they had done enough before that you expected Hannah to go home. It was very weird, though. Like, that whole situation, like, when Brandon, like, in the first challenge, I'm like, Brandon's going home for sure. And then Emily's annoying everyone in the camp, and I'm like, actually, Brandon might stay and Emily's going home, which I think was what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, Hannah's like, I'm out of here. And it's like, what? Like, literally no one else there wants her to go home.
Right. Yes. Like, literally, the thing is, like, they were all 3 incredible options for voting out. You know? Like, if you're anybody else other than those 3, you got to feel, like, super safe right now. Like, Sean, Caleb, Savaya, like, they've got to feel just freaking on cloud 9, kind of. I mean, they're going to lose a lot of challenges, but they're not going home for at least 2 more tribals. Like, those, like, because Brandon, I mean, let's just take a second and talk about Brandon real fast. Maybe, like, the worst start to Survivor history, honestly. Like, maybe, like, for a second, I know it's hard, and I probably look the same way, but for a second, I kind of thought that I was watching Netflix's The Mole, you know? I thought I was watching someone, like, tank their team for money. Because it's just, like, that, like, not getting up the ladder, it's like, did he hit his head? Like, I was just concerned and confused that he lost so much energy from paddling. You know what I mean? Because he looked fine getting out there.
Yeah, Brandon was a mess out there. Like an absolute liability for his tribe. It was honestly embarrassing. I'm like, you've been watching this show since you were 11 years old. You should have gotten up off the couch just once and learned how to climb a ladder. I mean, he looked like 9-year-old me in the high ropes course out at Happy Boys Valley Ranch or whatever out in Ashland City, man. That was dreadful. I mean, it's shocking to me, like, people that watch the show their whole life. He had prepared for the swimming part, but he had never fathomed that maybe he would have to climb a ladder. Yeah. Craziness.
It's really difficult because, like, you know, if he had a panic attack, which that's kind of that's what Hannah called it. And I mean, she was there and she's a therapist, so like maybe she knows, but like that's like the worst timed panic attack of all time. Like, man, that is brutal. If you're like, because panic attacks look different, and I get that, and I was a little concerned for him medically because he just kind of collapsed out there. Like, what was he drinking beforehand? Like, I'm surely they gave him like water. They gave him water before they go out there. Like, what was going on? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to like make it justified in my mind, because I would like to think that if I went out there, I wouldn't do that, but I may just do exactly what Brandon did. I don't know.
I mean, my understanding of panic attacks is that they normally come at times that are inconvenient.
Correct.
Times when you might be panicking.
True.
And so, that the biggest thing about it was Sean, like, Brandon was going to go up the ladder first, and he like couldn't do it. And Sean just was like, okay, man, see you at the top, and just took off. Like, he didn't.
No. Well, so Brandon was like, dude, go. Like, Brandon told him to go, and Sean was just like, me? Okay. And just did it in like 2 seconds.
But why would you leave? Like, he obviously needs your help. No matter what he's saying in that moment, the dude can't even, like, get his weight on the first step. Like, he couldn't even get on the first step.
Yeah.
What makes you think it's going to get better when you leave? That was just honestly just not good teamwork by Sean. I wasn't really impressed by Sean this episode. The dude is crying when Hannah goes home. Like, what's your deal, Sean? What are you doing out here? You leave Brandon on the ladder. You're crying when Hannah goes home. It seemed at the very beginning of the episode, he was getting more shine, and then like they weren't even acknowledging he was on the tribe for a portion of like the back half of the episodes. Like, he's going to tribal, and no one knew. I didn't even know Sean and Hannah were close. They didn't show that, but he's all torn up about her going home.
Say what you will about Sean, but he is clearly top 3 in this tribe. Like, he is clearly at least number 3 in this tribe. So it's like, I mean, are we going to have another Tika where we're just like annihilating this one tribe and then there's going to be 2 strong players left? Like, maybe. Because like these guys are awful. Like, half of them. Like, you could even tell when they got to tribal and they were talking about Hannah, like possibly saying like, oh, I kind of want to go home, and Jeff was like, is this what everybody wants? You could see Caleb and Sabiyah just look at each other and be like, no, this is not what we want, but I guess we'll say that. Because they still probably would have been like, hey, look, I mean, I guess it's fine, because then we could just come back and vote Emily out. But also, we'd probably be fine if Hannah just quit and we still voted Emily out. Like, that's just crazy to me. Like, this tribe is terrible. Like, terrible. Like, horrible. Like, not all of them. Just when half of your tribe sucks, half of your tribe sucks. Like, that's a big part, you know?
Yeah, this might be the worst tribe of all time. Like, there's like, they might be a full Matt Singh. We might be seeing the full Matt Singh here. Like, yeah. At this point, I would say Caleb and Sabiyah are going to be the last 2 people on this tribe, and there's going to be a swap or a merge.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to happen, because this tribe is an absolute mess. They didn't even lose their worst challenge player. They didn't lose their most annoying person. The most middle person on the tribe just left.
Which is typically like the safest one.
Yeah, so it just doesn't it's going to get worse before it gets better for this tribe. What were who put this tribe together? Like, who put this tribe together? Like,
who put the red tribe together and was like, yeah, I think the red and the yellow tribe, they look similar. What are we doing? What are we doing? They, like, the red tribe has Sifu, Austin, and Drew, all like bigger athletic guys.
Drew?
Hey, he's tall, lanky, he seems capable, you know? He's not super athletic, but Austin and Sifu, those guys are plenty athletic, you know? And their women didn't seem like bad either. But like you look at the Yellow Tribe, it's like Hannah is not like an all-star. Like she was like the fourth strongest competitor on the tribe, at least fourth, like maybe better. Like what are we doing here? Like when they walked out, I was like, wow, Red Tribe and then Yellow Tribe right next to him. Like producers, like what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like when you're at a church camp and whoever made the teams like doesn't actually know the campers at all. You know, it's like, whose idea was this? Did you just do like by grade? Like, okay, this team needs a 10th grader, this team needs a 9th grader, this team needs an 8th grader. I mean, yeah, it was pretty bad. And Caleb and Sabai are probably going to be in an advantageous position going into the merge because of this situation. But it's not going to be pretty for them to get there. And Emily is one of the most, I mean, I don't want to say she's one of the most annoying Survivor players in recent memory. But the way that she immediately, like, her whole vibe is like, I'm poking holes in everyone. I'm trying to blow up everyone's spot constantly. And, like, it's one thing if you do that at first, but, like, that's her whole thing.
That's her whole vibe.
That's a bit, it's just not something that's going to fly. And, like, just a lack of self-awareness to, like, go after Caleb and Sabai. Like, even if you personally think they got an advantage or something at the thing, like, I don't know, maybe, like, get to know everybody on your tribe before you immediately tell everyone else, oh, they got an advantage there, they got an advantage there. Like, if someone says that to you, maybe be like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But don't, it's, like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better because Brandon, he can't do a challenge, it seems. You know, there's a guy who's a liability in a challenge, and then there's Brandon, who's already physically disadvantaged. But Madeline said it best, like, he's not a resilient person. Like, when something went wrong, he just kind of wallowed in it. He wasn't like, it's okay to be bad in challenges if you're like, I fall down, I get back up. He was acting as if he had been knocked unconscious when he fell from the wall. And I'm sure he took a hit, and I'm sure it was hard, but if you've been wanting to be on Survivor since you were 11 years old, the adrenaline should be enough to carry you through that. Like, get you back on your feet and get you back up on the wall at least. Like, it was bad. I would expect them to lose the next 3 immunity challenges.
Yeah, it's just Brandon, man, like, and again, I don't want to, like, kick him while he's down or anything, you know? Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. But the conversation that him and Hannah, that was her name, right? Hannah were having, like, and he, like, she said, I think I'm going to go home. I think I'm done. And he was like, no, if you go, like, I'm going. And it's like, was Hannah the only person that was, like, keeping him here? Because Hannah was not resilient either in that. Arguably less so. And I think, like, for Brandon, I feel bad for the guy. And I mean, I feel like Survivor is just a thing that some people just aren't cut out for. Like, some people they just don't have the Survivor dog in them. And that's fine. But you're just not going to be good at Survivor. You know? Like, you're just not going to be good at Survivor. You're going to go home. You may cause your team to lose challenges. And people might not like you as a Survivor fan. And I guess that's part of the risk that you take when you get on Survivor. I would like to shift and talk about Hannah for a second. The actual person that was voted out. Not really voted out. Just quit. And it was the calmest I've ever seen Jeff when someone quit. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be like, you know, I don't snuff quitters' torches.
Yeah,
because he's done that before. and she did quit. They didn't even want to vote her out. Like
No.
literally 5 out of 6 people. So the other 5 people on the tribe did not want to vote her out.
Yeah.
And she just straight up said, I don't even have to be voted out tonight to leave in my mind.
Yeah.
And Jeff is like, wait, you mean you're quitting? She's like, I don't know how to be more forthright about it. It's like, well, say that you quit.
Say that you're quitting. You're a quitter.
You are a quitter because you want to smoke. I think that's the, like, if she wasn't a smoker, I think that she probably would have been fine. But like, she was like, I need nicotine. And like, there's been a lot of smokers throughout the years who have really struggled. To like Shane, Survivor Panama, he really, really struggled because he was smoking a pack a day until he got to Survivor. He just tried to quit cold turkey. So I don't know if they do nicotine patches, if they'll do nicotine patches for him or what. I would assume they wouldn't. Because it's not like a thing that's like you medically need.
Right. Like, is it a medication? Like, yeah, that's so crazy. Like, because she said nicotine like once or twice, and I was like, wow, okay. That is an interesting thought. Like, maybe you need to like go to rehab or something before you, or like wean yourself off of it, and that takes time. Like if you're addicted to something like that, that takes time. Can I just say though, that as a future therapist, I love that Hannah quit because I love that it lowers expectations for therapists in the real world because we're still human. And I am so glad that I don't have to go through another season of Survivor and talk about, what was that blonde girl from a few seasons ago?
Tori.
I don't have to go through this season and talk about Tori, and I don't have to judge her for being a therapist. Like, Hannah's probably a fine therapist when she has like a couch that she can sit on, and when she's like, has a smoke break, and she gets like 8 hours of sleep at night. I'm sure she's a fantastic therapist, but like, we're still freaking human, and like, we don't have to have this conversation about like, ooh, I wouldn't want to go see that therapist. Like I don't know.
I think I would have some questions, and I would think maybe this person shouldn't be my therapist. If I like just showed up to my appointment early and I was sitting in my car and I saw them just standing outside the building smoking, I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe they're not the therapist for me. Some people probably wouldn't care. I feel like if you're a therapist who smokes, you probably need to be like an anti-hero in some like HBO drama or something like that. Like you need to be like some therapist who's going through a lot of stuff or something.
What?
Or something, like if you're going to be a therapist who smokes, but maybe that's my own personal preferences and biases.
Maybe. Have you seen Shrinking on Apple TV?
Yes.
Jason Segel is freaking messed up, and like he's also pretty messed up in his therapy. I thought you didn't
even have Apple TV.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I was at a friend's house and I watched the first 2 episodes, but I
don't remember him smoking in it, but that's not to say he wasn't smoking.
No, but he was becoming very drunk and also doing things that therapists would lose their license for.
Yeah, but this isn't a shrinking podcast. This is a Survivor podcast.
Sure. But my point is, therapists are imperfect. And I went on a date like a year ago, and
wow,
she
making moves.
I went on a Hinge date a year ago, and she was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm in grad school to be a therapist right now." And she was like, "Oh wow, so you must have your life together." And I was like, I mean, kinda, like a little, but like we're still like people, I don't walk around psychoanalyzing everyone. I can't even psychoanalyze myself. Like, I'm still a human being, and I love seeing a therapist go on national TV and make an absolute fool of herself by playing Survivor and doing something difficult and looking just absolutely bad on television. And I think that's okay,
I mean, isn't like being a therapist like the epitome of do as I say, not as I do?
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
It's like I'm good at giving advice, not at taking the advice.
And not even like giving advice. That's not really what I think a therapist should do. Anyway, that's a conversation for another podcast.
All right, that's what a life coach does.
That's what a life coach does. Yes, and they're not.
If anyone
certified
wants
at
me
all.
to be their life coach, let me know. $1,000 an hour.
That's Hannah. All right, let's talk about. You touched on her earlier. Emily is all bad vibes. Like, I have never turned on Survivor and been more instantly turned off by a player than Emily. Like, I think this is just like, this is the villain that I think everyone can agree is just a flat villain on this season. And I don't think she's going to go far. So I don't think she's a good villain either.
Yeah, I think villain is giving her too much credit. I think she's more of just she's just probably just a person that doesn't know how to get along with other people.
Which blows my mind that she made it on the show. Like, you know how many people apply for Survivor and don't get it?
You know, it's like American Idol. You know, American Idol, they let the people get on TV who are really good or really bad. I think Survivor's a lot of the same way, and they've changed their casting a lot throughout the years. I mean, they used to cast people intentionally because they were like, this person is not going to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you're a great Survivor character when you think you can get along with anybody, but you can't get along with anybody.
Yeah.
That's a great Survivor character. So I think that they probably knew exactly what they were doing, or, you know, she was coming off as if she was super confident, but like the people in casting probably didn't like her. They liked her for a TV character, but not for a person, you know, but she thinks that they're getting along great. So Emily's not long for this show. Brandon, we might look up and Brandon is like sitting there with Caleb and Sabai. Like, that, I would not be surprised if that's what we end up with on that tribe.
Yeah. If he could turn it around, if he can be like a little resilient, you know, because it felt like for a minute he was kind of quitting there too, but he did not do that. So we'll see if he sticks around.
Well, I'm sure Jeff has the narrative ready. He was ready to go home on day one. He had a panic attack during the first challenge. And look at him now. He's coming in last place in the Final 5 Immunity Challenge. Wow, what a story. He got up off the couch just to come in last place in every single Immunity Challenge.
It's just, man, it's so true. And it's so sad. And even like Jeff was like, come on, Brandon, dig deep, get up the wall and get up there. And like, I was a little worried for Brandon, honestly. When he fell on the wall and just laid there for a second, I was like, is medical about to come out again for this guy? Like, oh my gosh.
He was just he was literally laying there and he hadn't moved at all. And I mean, you know, in real time, he might have laid there for 10 seconds without getting up. But in real time, it looked like he fell, laid there for 2 seconds motionless. And Jeff said, come on, Brandon, get up. I mean, he probably laid there for like 30 seconds in real time.
It reminded me so much of just like watching a football game, and then a dude gets hit in the head and he just lays there and everybody's like, oh my God, like, is this man okay? And then he just gets up on the wall. He did it. He got up and he did it. But I just like, I couldn't believe that he was just laying there motionless, and just cuts to Jeff. Get up, Brandon, get up. That just freaking threw me, man. I didn't know what to believe.
That's the benefit of, you know, making your kids like play soccer when they're 6 and 7, because they are in an environment where they're probably going to fall. Hey, get back up. that's what you got to do when you get back up. When you fail, you just got to keep it moving, man.
Yeah.
Don't just lay there wallowing. Like, is this your dream or not?
Yeah.
Like, have you wanted to be on this show since you were 11, like you were saying, or not? Dude, the crying when he arrived on the boat was
a lot.
That was a lot for me. And I'm a sensitive, emotional guy. I understand sometimes when you're moved, your eyes well up with tears. This dude is straight up bawling.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it together, and then Jeff asks him about it, and he starts crying again. And like, I'm not saying that this is like a toxic masculinity thing. It would be the same if it was a woman. Nothing has happened on this show yet.
Yeah.
Like, keep it together for like, you know, the first 5 minutes you're there, maybe.
I mean, yeah, like maybe it just meant so much to him though that his brain was like overloaded with joy in that moment, and it was so overloaded with adrenaline and joy in that moment. He got in the water, he paddled, and then everything was just like, oh, this is more energy than we've used ever, and just shut down, like just stopped working, like, because yeah, I mean, I imagine that is a big moment, and like we're pretty big Survivor fans. You're a bigger Survivor fan than I am, but like, if I got on there would definitely be emotions. Like, I would definitely, I may cry like the first day. Now, getting off the boat and not being able to speak, that's not me, but like, maybe that he just cares that much more about Survivor than I do.
I think, well, see, in my thinking, I would be like in game mode, like immediately. Like, I don't think I would take that moment to like, oh wow, this is amazing. I've wanted to be here for years. Like, I think I would have that moment like later in private, like if we won a challenge or something like that. Like, that's when when people historically get emotional on Survivor. It's like, oh my goodness, I won an individual immunity challenge. That's crazy.
Like,
the dude knew he got casted on the show for weeks.
Yeah.
He had all that time to process it. And I guess he didn't process it too much. I mean, I would think like from the second I got in the boat with the rest of my tribe, or from like the quarantine that they make you do before, I'd be in game mode, like looking around, trying to scope out my competition. But maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. I've never been in that situation. Don't plan to be. I've got too much going on here to even apply for Survivor. But good for him. He made it on. He won't last long, but glad that he made it on Survivor.
Yeah, that's the Yellow Tribe. I mean, I love Caleb. I hope things go well for Caleb, and I keep forgetting her name.
Sabaya.
Yeah. I hope the best for them. Like, I like both of those people. Caleb seems like a player that seems very charismatic and capable athletically, and like, I think he's gonna do well. But yeah, we saw a lot of Yellow Tribe, and I really hope Emily goes because I'm tired of watching her. Honestly, she's a lot. Anything else in the Yellow Tribe?
Just generally on this season, the tribe names are really easy to remember. So you've got Yellow, Lulu, Lululemon. Lemons are yellow.
Oh.
You've got Reba McEntire, red hair
is
red tribe. Yeah. And below sounds like blue, and they're the blue tribe.
Oh, wow. I didn't put those together.
So this is going to be the easiest season to podcast in quite some time.
So do you want to call it Lulu, Reba, and Bello? Yeah.
Isn't that what it is?
That is what it is. But yeah,
we can call it whatever. But yeah, it's easy to remember this season.
That's Yellow Tribe. Let's just do like a quick rundown of what we saw from the other people, and then we'll make our picks for the ending of the season. Does that sound good?
Yeah. So here's my rundown. This is a theory I shared with Madeline. Bruce is under the impression that he is back on this season because he is a beloved character that America loves.
Uh-huh.
And that he's back on the show to show his personality. Like if you watch Next Time on Survivor, it's a lot of Bruce acting silly. He thinks America loves me. They brought me back on this show, and I need to really lean into my personality and my stardom here. He referred to himself as a famous person, but really, none of us care about Bruce. We don't know Bruce. Bruce was on the show for about 5 minutes last season, and so we don't really know Bruce, but he's under the impression that we all already love him. So he's acting an absolute fool already, and the fact is we don't even know Bruce. We're not tied to him in any ways. And so I'm not really thrilled that Bruce is back on the show. I think that was like a Jeff, like in the moment thing. He was like, I like Bruce. I feel bad for Bruce. Bruce, come back anytime. And then like 6 months went by and Jeff was like, oh crap. And the production was like, oh crap. Jeff told Bruce he could come back. So he has to be on the next season. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah. Honestly, can I be honest for a second? I like Bruce. I like Bruce. I do. I like him as a character. I like him. He's physically capable. He is not completely thorough in his gameplay, and he is who he is. He's trying to put on a persona, and it's fine with me. I like Bruce. I think he seems like a guy that would be fun to have a beer with. Honestly,
he's got Russell vibes. Russell from Philippines.
Yeah.
/ the other season.
Second Chances or whatever. Like no, not second, but like Medevac season. That one.
No, that was Philippines.
Oh, okay.
Was he on Samoa and then he was on Philippines?
Yes.
Because there was two Russells on Samoa.
There were two Russells. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's giving me those vibes of like, okay, but like he's doing like the dad stuff around camp and thinking he's in charge, and it's also like, why are you a returning player on this show? We didn't ask for this, but happy for him, I guess.
Yeah. On his tribe, there is a very interesting group of women that have seemed to have joined up. We didn't see a lot of other gamemanship from the other tribes. We did see that threesome kind of team up. And we also see them talk about Jake and how he's a lawyer. And I thought it was hilarious because Katurah, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry if I'm not. Katurah was like, I am more of a lawyer than this guy is, and I'm not going to tell anybody for that exact reason. And I thought that was amazing that they put two lawyers on the same tribe. One of them says he's a lawyer, and the other one says, I'm not a lawyer. And it's working. I think that's hilarious.
Yes. And I don't think it's a big deal that you're a lawyer. I think a lot of attorneys think it's a big deal that they're attorneys, and it's like, no, that's a job. Like, it wasn't going to make me treat you differently in Survivor, but I guess she was right because, it's kind of, they were coming for him, He's a smarmy attorney guy from Massachusetts.
Who's literally, he seems like just a guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
She said he was like, I think he's fine. I don't think he's that sketchy.
Oh yeah, district attorney. I do a lot of different things around town and doing the prosecutions and that type of thing. Boston, Mass.
Yeah, that was
a terrible accent.
And I love that she was like, "Wow, that's so interesting." I can't imagine being him and like watching that back or like finding out that she's actually like a lawyer. And then thinking back, wow, she played me so freaking hard. I thought, wow, I am such wow.
She was playing that like she had never even watched a show
Law and
before.
Order.
Like she's like, oh, like So what is that like? Like, what do you do? I don't know many attorneys. I'm like, if you're telling everyone that you're a nonprofit office manager or whatever it is, you probably do know
a little.
at least one attorney,
Yeah.
I would think. Maybe probably multiple.
Yeah.
But whatever. Depending on the size of the nonprofit.
The Red Tribe, Sifu. How do we feel about Sifu trying to spy on his own group? Also, very interesting character as well.
Yeah. When he said, I'm playing as if it's my second time, I was kind of out. I love him as a character, but as a contender, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. You can't. You literally can't because you don't have that experience. And then he just went and just outed himself immediately as someone who's going to be looking for idols and building a spy shack. Like, what are you doing, man?
What are you doing?
He's a fun character. I'm excited for him to stick around. I think they'll win a lot of immunity challenges, so I think he'll be at the merge.
Yeah, which is crazy. Also, shout out Julie, Brentwood, Tennessee, a state attorney. Let's go, Julie. Okay.
Which
Drew,
one is Julie?
the middle-aged white mom on the Red Tribe.
Oh yeah. Stay at home mom.
She had the Tennessee state symbol on her hat. That's how I knew.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
that's my alma mater, baby. Go Tigers.
What?
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. TSU?
No, it's not Tennessee State. It was like the state flag symbol.
Oh,
She did not go to Tennessee State.
She didn't rep TSU?
No. Drew is interesting. Drew is very cocky. I don't like Drew. I think he'll be kicked out around merge time.
He's like, I'm the smartest person here, and I'm not bragging. That's just factually true. Or he said he actually didn't sound the smartest person here. That might be accurate. He said he's one of the smartest people to ever be on the show. There's at least one person from an Ivy League school on every single season.
Yeah.
You're not one of the smartest ever people to play this game. Chill.
Yeah. Go have an argument with Christian Hubicki. Put it on YouTube, and then we'll be the judge. Okay. So that pretty much rounds out the people that we saw throughout the episode. Are we ready to do our picks now? Let's make our picks, all right? Biggest loser. Now this is like the person that we think is not going to make the merge. And we probably have the same answer. And mine, it has to be Emily. Like, if she makes the merge, this season got a lot less attractive to me. Just like a lot less like I want to watch this season. You know? Like I can't deal with Emily, man. She's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose someone else, I don't think we'll make the merge. I would say Brandon, but honestly, Sean. I don't think Sean's going to make the merge either. But
really,
no.
Why?
Like I said, only 2 people from that tribe are going to make the merge, and that's already it's already clear who that's going to be.
Do you think Brandon's going to make the merge or Sean? I mean, yeah. Which one do you think is going to get voted out first?
Probably Brandon.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon clicks better with the other 2 and they think we'll just get rid of Brandon.
Yeah.
We'll just go the full Matt Singh and we'll just drop Brandon.
Yeah. And then all right. Tell me your final 3. We want to do final 3. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay. So I think Caleb does make the final 3. I think that is a thing that happens. I also think that Katura makes the final 3 as well. And then I'm going to go with Brando, the skinny guy on the Blue Tribe. I liked him. He's interesting to me. I don't know. I like him. I feel least confident about that one, but I'm just picking that guy because I think he's chill. I think he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. I'm with it. All right, Michael, who are your final three?
I'm going the two Lulus that will be left at the merge. So that's Caleb and what's her name? We've been saying it all. I forgot it.
Sabaya.
Yeah. And also I'm gonna go with I'll go Katura also.
Let's go.
That's what I don't remember a lot of people. I probably remember half the people. So
you said Caleb, Sabaya, and Katura. Would that be like the first ever all black final three, all African American final three? I can't remember another one. Because we've had tons of like white final threes, but
not off the top of my head, I can't remember. But
yeah, that would be sick. That would definitely be a storyline. And yeah, out of those three, I'm gonna say Brando is my winner. And Michael, who do you think?
I'll go Katura. Why not?
Let's go.
Thanks for listening, everybody. It's going to be a great season.
Have a good one, guys.